making sure that we lead.
All right, we'll get started in a few seconds, folks. All right, so it's 11 o'clock. We'll get started here. So this is the only Zoom meeting that I'll be doing for the semester as a live Zoom meeting. I want to point out though that in previous semesters I have done these Zoom meetings before, but the content is going to be pretty much identical to what I've done in the previous semesters. So I haven't had a great deal of a great number of people attend these meetings. Usually maybe one or two people might turn up. So I've just decided to go ahead and put those in just for the sake of having the content. The reason you might want to go and take a look at these is there's often very useful hints or tips to doing them, and they're only short too, but they will show you in detail what you need to do to complete modules and complete assessments and all of that. So I think it's worth doing it out. I am doing this one live because I want to give people a chance to ask questions about the syllabus and about the course, and to make sure that they understand exactly what's going on. So that's the reason I'm doing this one live, but this will be the only live one I'll be doing. So going through the syllabus, the only required textbook is the survival guide, which is also here on the. It's here in the, here we go, survival guide files. You can download these or you can buy the hard copy from the bookstore. And if you want to, you can get the Zoomdal book, which is, but you can have any edition of that, and you can get that pretty cheaply from other places. And I can't say where you can get these older editions cheaply, but if you want to think about a very long river in South America, you could start there. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, my office hours are set now. You can go to click on that link and you'll see that my office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 till 2, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you call me on my cell phone, and my cell phone is here, 265-2050. If you call me on that number during that time, I'll most likely answer. If I don't, then it means I'm on the phone with somebody else or doing something else as a student. So just wait a little bit and I'll get back to you. So you can text me on that number, or you can call me on that number. You can also try calling me on that number at other times as well. I mean, maybe if I'm not doing anything else, I might be able to answer, but maybe not. The way that the course is set up, it's set up in modules and tests. So the idea is, let's go take a look at the test one folder. So in the test one folder, you've got this practice test, and the real test is the same as the practice test. So the best way to study for the test is to do the practice test over and over under the same conditions as you do the test. That means you do it ideally closed book at some point. And if you're getting 90% on the practice test, there's no reason, under exam conditions, there's no reason you shouldn't be getting 90% on the real test, because it's the same test. I mean, sure, the numbers change, the compounds change and that kind of stuff. But if you're continually getting good results on the practice test, I don't see how you can fail. The only reason people fail is because they leave stuff to the last minute. So it's really that simple. And it's on you. In the end, it's on you to make sure that you're the one who's doing what you need to do, and that it's entirely, whether you pass or fail is entirely up to you. It's not up to me at all. Everything's presented for you. Everything's there for you. So test one is about modules 1 through 4. In the module folders, you'll find the soft chalks, and that's what I'd look at first. I'd look at the soft chalk first. The soft chalk is an interactive written thing here. You've got links to videos. You've also got some things where you can test yourself on the knowledge as you're reading. And you see a video here. So all of this is here. It's set out for you. It's all in one place. It's a one-stop shop. So that's my recommendation. In order to go through everything that you need to go through the soft chalk first, and then you'll have everything you need in order to complete the assessments. The assessments, most of the time, is going to be set up having, first of all, an assignment here. Now the assignment has video answers to it. All the assignments do. They have video answers to all of the problems. You can take the assignment as many times as you like. After you've done the assignment and gotten the grade you want, then you can do the module 1 practice quiz or whatever practice quiz you need to do. You need 80% on that, and that will open the credit quiz. Does anybody have any questions so far? Anybody have any questions so far?
Not so far.
All right. So the only exception to this is the module 3 module 3 assessments, which have an assignment, and then there's the module 3 practice and module 3 credit, and then there's also a significant figures quiz as well. You need 100% on that in order to get the credit for it. That's the only one that's different. All the other modules are set up exactly the same as what the first module is. So if you look at module 3, you can see that there's videos again for all the assignment problems. Every assignment problem is right there. All right, so there's no reason that everybody shouldn't be getting 100% on the assignments. All right, all the video answers are there in front of you, and they're all showing the set out and what you need to do. So. And then what you would do is after you've gone through everything, then you would start doing the practice test. And ideally, you want to start doing this a couple of days before it's due, because if you complete the practice test at the day before it's due with 80%, then you can get 5% of extra credit. You'd be amazed how many people don't take advantage of this. I get maybe half the class might do it, half the class. I mean, it's insane. I mean, that's it. It's 3 points. But the thing is that most people wait until the day of the test to do it. So that's why they miss out on getting the opportunity for the extra credit. So what I'm trying to do is get people to work before the actual thing is due. Now the test itself, test 1 and test 2, test 3, test 4 and the final are all administered under honor lock. If you've never used honor lock before, I recommend, where are we? I have a, I thought I had a, no, here we go. Yeah, honor lock practice exam. Yeah, so you can take a look at that and get an idea of what you need to do for honor lock while you're, when you take those tests. Does anybody have any questions?
Question. I noticed for the test, there's a password. How do you obtain that password?
Oh, no, there isn't. I mean, if you're in Chrome and you're in Honorlock, that password thing won't come up. It'll only come up if you're in Firefox or something.
Okay, yeah, I haven't tried it in Chrome yet. I just
try it in Chrome. Try it in Chrome. That's the most common issue I face with this is people don't open it in Chrome.
So I can take these tests as soon as I'm ready. Right?
Yeah. See, there's no start date on it. Everything's available right now to you.
All right.
I think. Go on.
Oh, sorry. I can't. Oh, sorry. I don't. Oh, shoot. I was gonna say. I also ordered the textbook, but it doesn't look like you're going to be using that very much for anything. Is that true or?
Yeah, it's a secondary
The
reference.
other one, not the one that looks like you wrote, right?
No. You were talking about the Zoomdal book, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No, if you're going to get it, get an older edition. Nothing changes in these old editions from what it is in the new one. And the old ones you can get for maybe $10.
Yeah, I did get it for $10 actually.
Oh,
$10 it was like 16.
It's fine, Sarah. I mean, come on, $16 for a textbook?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's not too bad. I'm just trying to prevent people from spending $350, $400 on a new edition they don't need. But $16, for a book that you can keep and have forever and read about chemistry whenever you want. Oh, that's your problem with that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll keep it for my life. All right.
I'm sure you will, Sarah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Anybody else have any questions so far? Anybody else have any questions so far? All right. Go back to the syllabus here. One thing about the credit quizzes is they don't appear in the calendar until you've taken the practice quiz. I sometimes get that from students is that, well, why isn't the credit quiz in the calendar? Well, it's hidden until you get 80% on the practice quiz. Then once it appears, then it appears in the calendar. But the practice quizzes do appear in the calendar. So, that's your signal to make sure that you do take the practice quiz so you can get the credit quiz done. All right. Now, one other thing is that you have to start these things before the due date. But it's like if you started test 1 at 11:50 p.m., you'd actually still have the entire time to do it as long as you started it before the due date. So just keep that in mind as well. A lot of people don't realize that. But I've also had people wait until the very last minute to start, and I never recommend that. All right, so all these tests, I mean, the tests you take under the closed book, no notes allowed. But in the tests themselves, you're going to have your reference sheets. They'll all be embedded inside the test. So remember that the test is the same as the practice test. So anything you're getting in the practice test, you'll get in the real test as well. It's the same test, folks. I swear, it's the same test. Look, here you've got your periodic table, right? Everything's here, and you'll get the same information when you take the real test as well. Now, in Honorlock, I've actually allowed it so that you don't have to use the Honorlock calculator, which a lot of people don't like, but it does work. But if you don't want to use the Honorlock calculator, you can use a regular handheld calculator. But make sure it is a handheld calculator, not a cell phone. If I see people using cell phones, I'll do everything I can to get you kicked out of the course. I will not tolerate cheating, not under any circumstance.
Are you, I'm sorry, are you familiar with Desmos? Is that okay? Or
What's that?
Desmos?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's an online scientific calculator too, but
No, I wouldn't. Well, it won't allow you to use that because
Okay.
it won't allow you to. The Unlock won't allow you to open other sites. So
okay.
I would recommend either using you can practice using the Unlock calculator here on this link, or you can use your own scientific or graphing calculator. And I don't know. Most people tend to use a handheld calculator because that's what they're used to. All right. Does anybody have any other questions so far? All right, let me get out of this. Let's have a look. Course content. Let's see. The schedules of the due dates is here in the syllabus, but I recommend that most of you will end up using the calendar. What you'll see is that modules 1 and 2 are both due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so what I'm talking about there are the assignments, the credit quiz for module 1 and module 2. Now remember, to get to a credit quiz, you have to do the practice quiz as well, but you don't get any points for doing the practice quiz. You're just doing the practice quiz to get to the credit quiz. But both of those are going to be due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And sample test 1 or practice test 1 will be available until the time of test 1. But the extra credit will be due on the night before the test is due, but you can do the test anytime. You can do the test today if you wanted to. I'm not going to stop you. But I strongly recommend doing all the work first before you do the test. All right, so I mean, you can work ahead. You can if you know that you're going to be away, for example, during the summer for a few days or a week or whatever, then work ahead, get the stuff done beforehand, and then you'll free yourself up. You have a lot of flexibility here, but the flexibility ends on the due dates, and that's where people end up running afoul of things because they leave things until the last minute. I mean, I feel like a broken record. Ugh. Every semester, everybody leaves everything to the last minute, and then these are the people who have the emergencies. They're the ones who've suffered some sort of I don't know, calamity, and it's always happening on the due date, and then they're clamoring for some sort of extension. I'll say this about extensions: if you want an extension for something, asking after it's due is not going to get you that extension. When people wait to ask after something the due date's already passed, in my mind, I'm thinking this person really, this wasn't even on the person's mind. It only came up after the due date. So that's never going to be successful. What I would say is that the further you are out from the due date, the more chance you will have of getting an extension. All right, did somebody say something? All right, did anybody have a question?
So just to reiterate, for the first test in particular, the periodic chart and the conversion factors will be provided on the thing. Okay. Yeah, I was worried about that. I've done the first couple modules and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to remember.
Well, you don't. Well, no. Look at the practice test. That's exactly what you'll get in the real test.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. I'm not going to quibble about any of that. That is how it's going to be.
Joining my chemistry class. There's a Zoom meeting right now for chemistry.
There is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Max, you're not muted. I can hear you. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So can everybody else. If you want to talk to other people, just mute. All right. Does anybody have any other questions about the schedule Anything else? So, see, on a few occasions, you're going to have 2 sets of modules due. Like this first week, in the second week, you'll have 2 sets of modules due. Also, on June 30th, you'll have 2 sets of modules due as well. And also on July 14th. Now, this is summer. I mean, this is the thing. Summer's fast. Summer goes. I also want to point out that the tests are not on the same day, and not everything's due on the same day all the time. Sometimes things are due on Sunday, sometimes they're due on Tuesday, sometimes they're due on Wednesday, Tuesday. You know, it all depends, and the reason for that is because I had to squeeze everything into 10 weeks. So I've tried my best to make sure that you've got the requisite number of days you need to complete the assignments that you need to complete. So just keep that in mind, right? That things are generally, they could be due on Wednesdays or Sundays for the most part. So don't get it in your head that you think, oh, everything's just going to be due on Sundays. It isn't. Yeah, it's going to vary. All right. The grading, everything's set up down here on the grading, tells you exactly what you need. And there is going to be a way for you to exempt the final as well. Let me see if I can find that. Here we go. You may exempt the final with a grade of A if you've scored more than 90% on each of tests 1 to 4, including however. That's more than 90% on all the tests, not an average of 90 on all the tests. You can exempt the final with a grade of B if you score more than 80%. If you score less than 80% on any test, you need to take the final. The final is cumulative, and the final may replace 1 lower test grade. If the final is higher than at least one test grade replaces that grade, and it's effectively counted twice. If the final is lower than all 4 test grades, it does not replace any of them, and it's counted once. But the entire score will be the average of all 4 tests and the final, if you end up taking the final. All right, does anybody have any questions about that? Anybody unclear about the grading here?
I may have missed, I'm sorry, the part where you mentioned something about extra credit. Was that just for doing the practice test, or is that?
Yeah, but you need to get 80% on the practice test, and you need to get it on the day before the test is due.
Okay.
But you have to get 80%. But remember, I mean, it's open book. I mean, the practice test. I mean, anybody should be able to get 80% on it, especially since they need to take it to actually take the real test. I don't understand why people don't do it. It blows my mind that I only ever see half the class get that 5% of extra credit. And that shouldn't happen. Everybody should be getting that. It's like people don't like extra points or something. All right, any other questions? All right, so just reiterating, the best way to handle the modules. So go into the module folder, do the soft chalk, then do the assignment, and then do the practice quiz, and then do the credit quiz. And then when you're studying for the tests, do the practice test over and over under the same conditions as you'll be doing the real test. That means, closed book. But do it as many times as you need to do in order to get at least 90% on the practice test, and then you can be assured you'll pass the real test. Remember, the real test is the same as the practice test. It's the same. I'll say it again, it's the same test. There's no reason anybody should fail this class. So what should you do if you're having trouble in the practice test? Well, that's when you reach out. You call me, you email me, let me know you're having trouble with something, and then we'll talk about it. You can also get tutoring through tutor.com, and these are SPC tutors. They'll be able to help you. I'll be able to help you. There's plenty of people out there. But what's the caveat? The caveat is you have to know you need help. And the only reason you'll know you need help is if you started doing the work. If you wait until 2 hours before it's due, it's going to be very difficult for you to get the help you need. All right, does anybody have any questions? Anything at all? Anybody unclear about anything I've talked about for the course, or any concerns about the course? All right, well, that's all I had to say. So unless anybody's got some question. Okay, all right, we'll close it down then.
I was I'm sure, oh, sorry.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, Sarah. What's
I
that?
was gonna say, it's my first time doing chemistry, so I'm sure I will have questions.
Oh, but that's fine. You know, reach out to me, reach out to the tutors. Yeah, we're here to help. Just make sure you leave enough time to do that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
all
you.
Right. Any other questions? Anything else? All right. Well, I'll see you all later. Thanks for coming. I'll leave this as a recording in the Zoom folder.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.